Read the disclaimer. Hello everyone, and this is the Beyblade X episode review with Team Persona versus Team Dream for the final battle. So this is basically what is leading before their final match against Pendragon, and we basically have KAMEN X versus Queen. So part of the episode, you know, it's just doing what we got last episode when she activates her ability of Bag of Wisdom, which that ability is basically that she uses all of her previous years of experience to be able to try to predict what her opponents can do, and then after use that to her advantage. So basically, as this battle is starting off, King basically talks about how Shinobi has the ability of parry defense. Now, something I really like in this episode is basically when they add new content, because I feel a lot of times that some of these episodes, you know, if they're going to be adapting the chapter and they're trying to fill it out for a whole episode, it's nice when you get to see new content. And I kind of like this because you basically get the past with King versus Queen when she's practicing with him, and you get like a young King, and basically he's just going all out in attack and he loses, and she's basically just telling him, hey, don't forget that defense is also very important, which is kind of funny because in the match against KAMEN X, he was trying to rely on the defense of Lion Claw. He had no confidence in like the attack versus the attack battle, and it didn't end up working. But I do like any of the additional content, because let's be honest now, this chapter in this battle should basically only just be one half of the episode. This episode is paced in a way where they kind of drag it out quite a bit, where it's kind of just pushing a lot on the Bag of Wisdom, which is fine, but it's not really like anything interesting is kind of going on visually. So he activates the Extreme Dash. There is some nice compositing. The music is also very nice this episode. I very much enjoyed like her OST. And the Shinobi stuff is kind of cool. I like the avatar when it comes out. So when the Bag of Wisdom is going, right, she's trying to predict, oh, okay, well, I'll parry against it and I'll win. And basically what's happening is their vision starts kind of, I guess, glitching out, which, I don't know, the effects and whatever is fine visually. It's not too exciting, but it's okay. So she's basically just seeing the same start of the battle over and over and over, but he's activating the Extreme Dash. And this is like shocking her because I guess it's the idea that KAMEN X is so strong and powerful, and part of the weakness in Queen's Bag of Wisdom is that if the opponent is superior to her, she is unable to actually use her ability effectively, which that's like an interesting thing, I guess. Because in all of her previous losses, which I'm just using the manga for the reference, if the Bladers were beyond what she could comprehend, she would be unable to actually do anything against them. So that's like, okay, I think it was okay how this was adapted. I don't think anything that was too interesting. I liked how the world looks of like this gray stuff, whatever. I just don't think visually, I don't know, is that interesting. You do get the silhouettes of like, so everyone talks about this. Listen, this is just similar to the manga. This is just a homage to the previous generations. These are obviously meant to be like the Bakutin, like Tako, Jinga, Volt, Aiga, you know, all of the previous protagonists, and Chrome. Now, I don't know if the reason why you don't actually see them properly is like, is there a copyright reason or something like that? The thing is this, it's, I don't know. I feel it's kind of a weird thing for adapting, because I think part of it is like, yeah, because it's still hard to make out, but I understand. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know how it works. I just don't like how this looks visually, and I think if it was like a concession they had to make to have that thing, I don't know if it was worth it, in my opinion. But Drawn Blaster is basically activating its Extreme Dash. You get Multi in the flashback basically describing, hey, Drawn Buster, gonna basically put everything into one powerful hit and attack. KAMEN X is super excited. She sees KAMEN X's Drawn Buster creature come out, and she's very surprised by this, and guess what? The vision that she saw, Drawn Buster, is becoming unseen to her because of the Unseen X. It's charging against her, and then after, basically just sees that KAMEN X is very much enjoying the match, and he's such a powerful blader, and to get like hit by the strongest attack she's ever faced, I guess it's like reminiscent of like her younger years. And then after he gets hit by Drawn Buster, gets slapped out. I don't know why they do this burst shit where it's an extreme finish and the bay also bursts as it goes out. Just have it be an extreme finish. I don't know, that part was like, that's such a burst thing for them to like adapt like that. They're basically celebrating, and this was part of like the Bag of Wisdom thing. Yeah, I feel like if we never had the original reference of the manga, I don't know how many people would probably get this reference, and I think that's probably why I'm really bugging out on that. Basically shakes KAMEN X's hand, says, amazing job, and yeah, yeah, I thought this was okay. This was an okay episode. I didn't think anything was really that bad. I mean, a lot of X is like mediocre. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this is just another okay episode. Like, I didn't think there was anything exceptionally done well. I think everything was just about average. I like the music quite a bit. She talks to Pak-kun, because Pak-kun is whining like a little shit. And, it just gives, like, the advice of, like, you know, the struggles that a pro has to go through, whatever. I thought that moment was kind of nice with Team Dream. And, basically now they move on to Pendragon, so that's gonna be their final hurdle. And you basically see, Common Y appear right at the end. I feel like half of the episode could have been, like, this battle, because if they're not gonna really add that much new stuff other than the King flashback, you could have had most of the other episode be maybe the start of Common Y. Because I know next week is just gonna be all of Common Y, but if next week's just all of that, then I'm wondering, where do you go? Because for Common Y to get adapted, that's maybe one episode. And I'm just wondering, like, because after this, they go straight into the finale. So I'm assuming we're gonna get some filler in the animation. And if you consider some of the other releases, especially leading into August, maybe we're not gonna see Cobalt Dragoon and all this stuff, whatever, until like maybe until like even August or some shit, dude. Maybe even then. But basically, it picks up with Bird practicing against Pendragon. So he's using Hell Scythe, he has his Hell Base, and he's trying to master his Hammer Crash. So this is at least one thing that was kind of interesting. I don't really think in the manga or in the anime this was really built all too well, except maybe to a certain extent for Hammer. I think it would have been nice to see Bird not just have like an episode where he's just physically training, but literally train his extreme dash. Because that's part of the thing that like he's trying to master, and apparently he's mastered most aspects of this bay. And I think something that the anime would benefit is maybe giving him some time to actually train to build towards the finale. Because if he starts winning, I'm not believing that shit if he wins against something serious. But his Bay is basically practicing, he gets the extreme dash right, Common Y appears, he goes, "Who are you?" Pulls out the drawn sword, and now, this is the screenshot where I'm going to use where I'm going to talk about spoilers. So if you care about next week, then you get out of here. So, basically, this is adapting Common Y, who's basically Chrome trying to relive all of the experience. Now, it seems based on the preview, they're going to add maybe some additional battles to this, which might be interesting, because they did say, oh, why didn't he battle against Baltic as one of Common X's opponents? So it's going to be interesting next week, for sure. Yeah, basically just battles against all of the opponents that I guess Common has had. King, interesting effect visually. You get Multi and Uni together, Burn. Oh, Burn, this is actually a fun thing, because they actually mentioned something in this moment, and I'm assuming this is just foreshadowing for August. But yeah, nice little effect on the drawn dagger. So that's kind of it for this video. I thought overall this was adapted pretty nicely, I would say. For the most part, I think just the pacing is always the issue. It would have been nice to maybe see, maybe if you do like a flashback of all the times she did lose or something like that, that could have been interesting. Maybe could have built a little bit of the tension before the final hit of Common X. I don't know, I don't think the direction was too strong for this one, but that's kind of it for this video. I just think the pacing overall in X is kind of weak overall. I think the adaptation is just okay, and I like some of the character moments. That's I think that's pretty much what I'm going to say every week until something interesting happens overall. But yeah, thank you for watching. That'll be it for now. I want to say take care and bye.